Greetings, beloved. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Thank you for joining me today. In my last video, I spoke a lot. There's so much to this message that I have to continue speaking about it because there comes a time when if you know you are in Egypt, if you know what you're looking for, if you know that there is an Egypt within me, or there's a Pharaoh within me that I'm fighting, that I have to conquer, I have to overcome. If you know what to look out for, you'll know whether you are in Egypt or not. And first of all, I think the most important thing right now is for us to know, are we actually in this Egypt? Are we actually fighting against a Pharaoh? Because sometimes we can get so caught up in our lives that we don't even know. So I'm going to speak about how do you know that you're in this Egypt slave consciousness, how to connect to God in a way that will allow God to work on your behalf and fight for you, and then what it looks like to be free from Egypt, to be on the other side of your parted Red Sea, because you will, through His light, through His power, create that miracle. God will create the miracle through you to part your own Red Seas in your life. And how do we do that? And what does it look like to be on the other side of that Red Sea? So first of all, what is the Egypt consciousness, or this slave mentality? And these are the characteristics of what it looks like. Upset or angry, being negative, fear, having fear about things, hateful, victim mentality. This is a big one because remember, we're talking about slave mentality, being in our own private inner Egypts. So this victim mentality, oh woe me, no rights, no human rights, or very few, or no choices, or very few choices. Obsessive compulsive thoughts of abuse. So having, videos of these kind of things in your head. Pain from the darkness, any kind of pain, whether it is abusive pain, spoken pain, going through any kind of pain because of the darkness. Because remember that Egypt is like the darkness, is the hub of the wickedness and evil. So if you're in that Egypt, you're in that darkness, you're going to feel pain from being in that place. And that's all within, right? You're feeling these things are going on within your mind, within your heart, within your soul, or within physically. Worry, constantly worried, miserable, still feeling like a victim. Even when things seem like they've gotten over something or the problem has been resolved, yet that mentality of the victimness is still there. Victim means that you can't be free. Because remember, when you get on the other side of that sea is the feeling of freedom. So what does a victimhood mean? That it feels like you can't get free of it, or you can never be free, or you don't feel free. Feeling like you're trapped or in a box. Feeling attacked or threatened. So we're going to talk about what to do when you feel these things. Therefore, you know that I have an inner Egypt that I have to overcome. I have an inner Pharaoh that I have to overcome. And remember, God sets up these things. They're already inside of you. But God sets up the scenario so that you will be forced to cry out to Him, to go to the place we're going to speak about, to travel upwards into that silent place where you can receive from Him, and from there He can start to fight for you, and He can, through you, part that Red Sea. Because if somebody comes and fixes that in your life, if somebody comes and fixes the problem, You didn't fix the problem. So that problem is going to keep coming into your life again and again and again until you stand up to it, until you part that Red Sea, until you stand up to that Pharaoh, until you change, until that which is inside of you, that whatever condition of your soul that is affecting your feelings, your heart, and is affecting your thoughts, your mind, from that unconscious place of your soul, that needs to be changed. And that can be changed from the place of the creation, the beginnings place. So I'm going to talk about that place next. And from there, that is where you receive the strength, the freedom, the ability to let go of all those things, to finally change yourself in such a deep conscious, unconscious state, subconscious state, that you will be able to finally step up to that Pharaoh and finally face the Pharaoh, or come out of the mentality of being a slave, come out of that victim mentality or that painful mentality or the threatening, feeling attacked. Also, going through vicious cycles. Like, if there are things in your life that you continually going through those vicious cycles over and over again, and just somehow you can't shake them off. Somehow they keep coming up because you haven't parted that Red Sea. First of all, you haven't gone to, we're going to talk about these things. A nature of addiction. So any kind of form of addictions, you have this nature of an addiction. That is an Egypt conscious slave mentality. Feeling stressed out, feeling in a hard place. Like, I'm just like in this hard place right now. I feel so stressed out. I'm in this hard place. I feel like everything is coming down on me. That is that slave mentality. Then there's a lot of noise in the heart and in the mind. You know, there's a lot of chatter. There's a lot of feelings conflicting inside of you, and you don't know how to shut that down. It's too much. The inner turmoil noise is too much. This place of creation that you go to is you receive the quietness, and all those things quiet down. It's kind of like you're casting your cares upon the Lord. You're calling out to God, but instead of saying calling out to God, God says, what are you calling out to me for? I already told you what to do. So we're going to talk about what to do, about going in this place of creation and finally releasing all of those things and becoming silent and realizing that it is going to be okay, that God is going to fight for you, but God is going to use you and change you. Change your mind. We're going to talk about that more. So also feeling no hope. The religion of evil is also in this slave Egypt mentality. No justice. Like there's just no justice. Everything is unfair. And you battle with something over and over again in your dreams. This is a big one. So those are the Egypt conscious slave mentality of your own private Egypt within, your own private Pharaoh that you're battling against. Those blockages are inside of your soul. But God sets you up where you're kind of like trapped, and the only thing you can do is call out and cry out to God, you know, God save us. And then at that point, God told Moses, why are you crying out to me? I already told you. I've already given you the answer. I already told you what to do. And that was travel upwards. With your heart, your mind, your soul, travel upwards to God, to the place of creation. If you don't deal with these things, what's going to happen? Well, we've seen what happens. You're going to explode. Either you're going to explode within, like if you bottle it up, if you don't let it out, you're going to explode within, and that's going to cause physical problems, diseases, diseases. It's going to explode within you if you keep it bottled in. Or you're just going to burst out in rage and anger and boom, you know, you can't contain it anymore. Or both of them. Rather, what you're going to do is you're going to travel upwards. That's what he told them. Tell the people, God told Moses, tell the people to travel. And say, travel where? There's nowhere to travel. They got the sea, they got Pharaoh behind them, they got the two mountains on each side. There's nowhere to travel. We're trapped. We're in a place where God forced us. He set it up not only for Pharaoh, so that he could show Pharaoh that he is God, but he set it up for the children also to know that he is for them. And he wants to be a creative force in their life. He wants to be a miracle working God in their life. But that miracle has to come from them. Coming into where that creative place is, that still place where you release everything inside of you, all those turmoils, all that noise, and you take the silence. Because he told Moses, actually Moses told the Israelites, don't worry, because they're crying, well, what are we going to do, right? They're crying out, don't worry, be quiet. God will fight for you. Be quiet and watch the salvation of the Lord. They didn't know what was going to happen when he said that, but then later on, we'll talk about that. So, travel upwards. What does it mean to travel upwards? Take the quantum leap upwards. Because upwards is this place of creation. It's called the place of creation, the beginnings. It is the highest level of faith. It is the place where God gives you his faith, and you know that God is going to deal with it. He's already given you the answer. And all you do is be silent and see the salvation of the Lord. It's the origin of creation. It's the seeds of creation. It's the place where things begin. It's the beginning, the beginnings. When God said in the beginning, there was darkness and God said, let there be light. God was in that place. He created light out of that place. We quantum leap upwards. That means we create the miracle because God always wants to do things through you. He wants that participation through you, to be the miracle working God through you. He didn't just want to do it himself all the time. You know, the people were crying out to God, and he said, I don't want to do it anymore for you. Like I did it for you. I did the plagues, the 10 plagues. I dished them out in Egypt. Now I want you people to participate with me. You know, it wasn't just Moses participating. It was all the people. He wanted that communion time, that relationship time with the people. To make that miracle happen through them so that they will know he is God. He said that the setup is for Pharaoh to know that he is God and also for the people, for the children to know that he is God. Where are you going to flee? Lord, we don't have anywhere to flee, Moses. We don't have anywhere to flee, Moses. There's mountains here. There's a sea there. There's a Pharaoh in the back. Where are we going to flee? There's nowhere to flee. Flee upwards and create a dimension. Open up in the place of creation. You open up a dimension that didn't exist before. An option that wasn't available. They didn't even know that. Is it an option? Like, who knew that the sea could split? In this place, you flee upwards and God fights for you. What are you doing? You're raising your banner of salvation. Because when you go upwards, you receive salvation. The importance of us learning about the Egyptian consciousness so that we know the difference. We know the difference of what is it like to still be under that consciousness and how many of these things have you mentally checked off in your mind? Oh, that's me, that's me. And then what is it like to be on the other side of that parted sea? You know, remember they had a song. There was a melody, there was singing, there was joy, there was happiness. That's the other side. we're meant to be on that other side. So if there's an issue and there's a problem in one of these Egyptian consciousness, slavery mentalities that you may have one of those things, what does it mean to be past that parting of that problem or that issue, to be on the other side? If we're aware that we are in this slave mentality, then we know that we have to get out of it. Like, if you're not aware of being a slave, then you won't even think of escaping. You can't be on the other side of the parted sea and in Egypt at the same time. You can't have the mentality of these slave consciousness and be a creator and be joyful and be happy and be full of light and love at the same time. So to get past all those things to the next level that is on the other side of that parted sea, you have to split the Red Sea. Obviously. How do we do that? In order to deliver that consciousness of positivity, on the other side of the Red Sea, that positivity and love, to have that in your life, meaning you have to create the miracle. You can't create the miracle by yourself. You can only create the miracle by being birthed through light. Because in that place of creation, it's a place of creation. It's dark. That's where all the forms are, the formlessnesses, all of the building blocks, everything to create is there waiting for you as a creator. And as God spoke, let there be, from that place, he spoke, let there be light, so that which is in the formless place of the seed of creation can be birthed out. He created a middle place, because on here is our reality, this physical reality. We're going to get into what is real reality, but this physical reality has to be birthed from this dark, black place of creation. It has to be birthed through a place of light. And he said, let there be light. Let there be the place where you can take from what is in the spiritual realm. You can create that and you can birth it through that channel of light. And that is the miracle. Us holding the light, birthing that which is in the place of creation, in the spiritual realm, speaking it out from that. As he spoke, let there be. You speak, let there be. And only good things can come out of that place. So do not try to do anything that is not good out of that place. From that place, that miracle comes through you, because you carry the light of the Father, the Creator. You create a miracle when the light of the Father comes inside of you. Knowing, and this is very important, how is it that you can take all of these slave mentality characteristics or things and bring it to the Father, to the place of creation? How is it that you can go from all those negativity things and bring it and travel upwards and make that quantum leap? How can you possibly do that? How can you flee upwards? By knowing you are loved. By knowing the Father is for you, by knowing that you can pray to him and he hears your prayers and he answers you, and he only has good plans for you. He only wants good things for you. He wants you to prosper. He wants you to succeed. He wants you to get past those barriers, those red seas that are before you. He wants to be the miracle working light through you, so that you can put out your hand, you can put out and you can say, the sea is parted. This problem is no more. This problem is solved. This thing is crumbled. Because in that place of creation, you change. Your consciousness change. Your inner subconscious changes. Because he fills you with the assurance that you are loved. in the message of the Father's love is so much deliverance, so much knowing that I can be myself. I don't have to be afraid, like, wow, I can be myself. Like, I'm just accepted the way I am. I'm loved the way I am. God is not holding anything against me. He doesn't count my misdoings, my sins. He doesn't count any of those things against me. He just completely, wholeheartedly loves me and accepts me. And wow, I can breathe. I can be free. You see, that's the other side of that parted Red Sea. I'm going to get to that other side, but I'm already talking about it. That's what you feel like. You feel freedom. And you feel like, what was that before me? Like, what was I living in before? And what a terrible place I was in. And wow, what this wonderful, look at this place I'm in now. It's so wonderful. It's so free. It's so liberating. And then you have your melody, and then you have your song, exactly what they had when they crossed that Red Sea. They all sang. They all sang in unity. They were united because that is the reality. That is reality. That is reality. And this matrix that we're living in, this fake, everything that is negative, evil, wicked, every form of selfishness, of trying to bring other people down so you can get up, like every form that is in the darkness of the world is the fake, is the matrix. The reality is unity, love, heart coherence, everybody's heart. They were singing at the same song, same time, same melody. They were in the spirit together. They were united under one creator, one Father. You feel like his child and that you deserve good. You feel like you can pray to him and he will hear you and he will give you good things. He holds good things. He gives good things to his children, to those who love him. You feel like God is for you. God is on your side. It's going to work out. You bring all these negative things to the Father when you travel upward, when you escape, when you flee upwards, and he will fight for you. This was what Moses said. God will fight for you, so keep silent. Go to the place of in your heart, in your mind. Become silent, knowing that he will fight for you. Stand and see the salvation of God. That is what Moses said to them when they were crying out. Don't worry. Stand and see the salvation of God. Keep silent. God will fight for you. It says that in the end, many shall go up. So in the end times, many people will be going up. Many people will be escaping up because they will be trapped. They will be under a lot of pressure. They will have a lot of pharaohs behind them. A lot of things will be happening that will cause people to not, they can't cry out because God said, why are you crying out to me? I've told you what to do. What are they going to do? They're going to travel upwards to this silent place. But what you're actually doing is you're creating a leap of life. I said before, a quantum leap, which is the miracle. The ability to birth a dimension or a thing that didn't exist before in the physical reality. You're drawing it out from that place, and through you, the light, the miracle is made through you. You're creating a leap of life and life more abundantly. What Yeshua said, that we should live in life, that he came to bring us life and life more abundantly.